It is the Ortho Nebraska halftime show brought to you by Ortho Nebraska. Beautiful look at the moon. It's a beautiful night in eastern Nebraska. And so far, so good for the Blair Bears, up 7-6 over Elkhorn at halftime. If you'd offered them that before the game, they would have happily accepted it after 24 minutes tonight. Let's go down to the field, meanwhile, where Bill Steckes is with a member of Ortho Nebraska.
Yeah, we're going to follow up a good half of football with some good information here. Dr. Scott Reynolds, an orthopedic surgeon with Ortho Nebraska. We're going to talk about shoulders, separated shoulders, and dislocated shoulders. Doc, what's the difference?
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you having us out again tonight.
Oh, we love having you.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah. So first of all, to answer your question, most people, when they think of their shoulder, they think of the ball and socket, okay? When that socket, when the ball pops out of the socket, that's what we call a shoulder dislocation, okay? But on top of that, you also have a little joint on top of your shoulder. So if everybody out there, feels the top of your shoulder, your collarbone's here, when you reach out, there's a little bump. That's where your collarbone meets up with your shoulder blade. And we call that your acromioclavicular joint. That's the name of the bones, but also your AC joint. And when that joint gets injured or it pulls apart, that's a shoulder separation. So the ball and socket, that's a shoulder dislocation. The collarbone joint, that's a shoulder separation.
All right, so there's some good anatomy there for us. All right, what are some treatment options?
Yeah, so most of the time with these types of injuries, we try to treat these without surgery if we can. With shoulder dislocation, sometimes you can go through some rehab, go through physical therapy, get your strength back. There's certain types of braces that kind of limit you so you can't bend your shoulder back too much. If it ends up being too loose or it keeps coming out, those are ones that sometimes we have to go do surgery on. We'll go in and scope the shoulder and look around, and there's a little bumper that we have to sew back onto the edge of the socket. For shoulder separations, most of the time those are ones we don't have to treat with surgery. Mild injuries, out for a week or two, pad it up a little bit, you usually can get back and play. Sometimes if it's really torn, you can tear the ligaments and the collarbone can pop way up. And those are ones that sometimes we have to go in and make new ligaments. So we'll take your hamstring tendon or we'll take a cadaver tendon, we'll wrap it around the collarbone and hook it all back together and try and get that to hook back. So sometimes surgery, but most of the time not.
So if this is resonating with someone out there, they got some pain there, what should they do?
Well, most of the time for the students, we're very thankful to have such great trainers around the metro area. All the high schools have great trainers. That's obviously a good first place to start. Obviously, coming in and seeing us in an orthopedic clinic, we're always happy to help. A lot of times we'll check a quick x-ray. If you dislocate your shoulder, you really should get an x-ray. Sometimes you can knock off a little chunk of bone off the socket, like a golf tee. When you hit a golf ball, that you get a little chip off the tee and the ball keeps falling off. So it's nice to know that. Sometimes we'll treat you a little differently. Sometimes you get a little crack on the end of your collarbone. It's kind of nice to know that by getting an x-ray. Ortho Nebraska does have an urgent care that's open every night during the weekdays till about 9 o'clock, and then every weekend from 10 to 2. And during the football season, we open up at 8 o'clock on Saturdays. So we have a lot of options. We're available pretty much every day. And then just a little plug out for here, West Omaha, Ortho Nebraska does have a new clinic that's opening up out in the Elkhorn area. It's about 204th and Center. We're opening up in about a month. So it's just another location. We want to provide access, make it easier for people to get in and out and get taken care of. So.
All right, you're covering all the bases.
Yeah.
I know this is football, but there's a baseball reference, guys.
Very nice, Bill, and thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Good camera presence by Dr. Reynolds.
Yeah,
You should start a YouTube channel.
legend.
I'd watch. More next.